Be strong.
I admit it. I will never understand it. I will never understand how Americans can like American football. Really. It's impossible for me to understand why American football is such an important sport in the United States. Nothing. I will never understand it. Okay, yes, I'm Italian. Okay, yes, I love soccer. But hey, let's think about it. Football is really, really boring. And people tell me, well, there is a lot of tactics involved. Well, not as many as in basketball or in soccer, actually, or even in volleyball. The United States have three sports that are seen and followed by the majority of people. And those ones are football, well, American football, basketball, and hockey. And I always ask them, but how is it possible that the whole world follows soccer as a primary sport and you guys only like football, which, if you ask me, also has a weird name because it's called football. No, football. They touch the ball with their feet only probably, 10 times every game? That's very weird because football should be football, what they call soccer. I will never understand them sometimes, really. As a soccer lover, actually, I argued many times with many Americans. Of course, they're my friends. And they were telling me, they were saying, well, Giovanni, soccer is boring. The score can end up like 0-0 or 0-1 or 2-2. Instead, like football is a real man sport. And I will always answer, my favorite games in soccer are the tie games. 0-0, where you really fight in the middle of the field, where tactics are so important that no team can do better than the other. And well, they're telling me that football, American football, is a man's game because they always crash into each other and they run and they have to tackle and all sort of things like this. Well, have they ever seen soccer? Or rugby? I mean, okay, maybe you like some sort of violence. Maybe you want to feel like a Roman in the Roman arena watching gladiators. I get that. But then why not a boxing match, right? Or a wrestling. Well, wrestling is fake, but you know what I mean. You know what I am saying, right? Well, let me tell you something. Last year my parents came here visiting me here in the United States. As I always say, I live in Washington State, so in the northwest, just below Canada. And here they have one of the best football teams in the whole NFL, which is the Seahawks teams, which is a team of Seattle. And so, like, you know what? I thought like I want to give my parents the opportunity to feel and to live the American life. So I will bring them to watch a Seahawk game. Well, so boring. I mean, many people, like I think around 80,000 people in that stadium. The stadium is magnificent. It's so big and it can host and it can welcome so many people. And the show was actually pretty good because it is really how you watch it, how you see it in TV shows and movies about America. As an Italian, I always watch this in movies, in cartoons even. And I was so surprised, the cheerleaders, the all pre-show, the national anthem, all things that in Italy and Europe, they don't really matter. They don't have it for any of the sport events. And then the game started. And people, rooting and, screaming and yelling. Me and my dad. They stopped every 30 seconds. I think that without the advertisement intermissions between an action and the other, I think that the football game will last probably 45 minutes, maybe 50. Well, with all the intermissions, it lasted kind of like 3 hours. And I asked myself, how can people spend 3 hours in front of the television watching a game? That's like, I don't have that much time. And a football game lasts 3 hours, more or less. A baseball game lasts 3 hours, more or less. A soccer game lasts 1 hour and a half. And it's more intense. They never stop, right? They never stop. And actually, I forgot to mention that baseball is another game that everybody follows here. So I guess it's for sports that Americans mainly follow. And I went to watch also a baseball game, and yes, it was boring, but it was interesting. It was very interesting, and the show in the stadium was really, really fun. I think what you pay the ticket for is for the show, not for the actual game. Yes, if they score like a home run or whatever, no, the home run is in football. How do you call it when you hit the ball out of the stadium? You know what I mean, right? Right, that's fun, okay, that's interesting, yes, but still very boring. And I don't understand it. Why soccer is considered like a female sport? Well, United States has the best soccer team for what deals with female soccer. They have the best team in the world. The national team of the United States always wins the world championship. So they should follow more, right? I mean, they have such a huge basin of athletes that could compete at a professional level with all the European and South American countries, like, you know, Brazil, Argentina, Italy, France, Germany, England, Spain. But they don't do it, and they feel and they think that soccer is really only for women. That I will never understand. I mean, have you ever seen a soccer game? Have you ever seen a soccer game? But not talking about soccer, because of course I am on the soccer side. But let's talk about something that is mainly American, which is the NBA, so the basketball. This sport is very intense. This sport has a lot of tactics and a lot of technique involved. Whereas football, well, American football doesn't, simply. They just have to run with the ball under their, armpit. They just have to throw the ball with their hands. Well, yes, might be difficult, but it's more difficult to throw a ball with with your feet. Or maybe a basketball, or maybe to hit the ball with a baseball bat. So technically, it's not that difficult. Of course, it is difficult. I'm not saying that it's not difficult, but it's not that difficult. And people were telling me, well, kicking a ball is very easy, right? No. Trust me, if you try to kick a ball, it doesn't go straight. And that ball is really heavy, so you have to know how to kick it. I mean, not everybody can play soccer, right? But thinking about baseball, that's such a better game, such a better sport. It's full of tactics, it's full of technique, it's full of tricks, and people never stop. I mean, it's all like, it's very cool, right? If I succeed into getting to live in America for longer, I want to start watching and following basketball. That sounds like a very cool sport, and it looks like a very cool sport. But you know, the whole thing with the Super Bowl, with people singing the national anthem, with football players being very important and influential stars in the social panorama of the United States, this thing, honestly, I will never understand it. To me, it's such an overvalued game, sport, I want to say. I mean, and it's very boring. It's super boring. They stop every 30 seconds. Well, but it's a game between the coaches, yeah. So, I mean, you pay a lot of money to watch a game, there's a lot of advertisements involved, and it's a boring game after all. Why do Americans watch it, really? I will never understand it. I would prefer to watch a golf thingy, or maybe a curling game, or I don't know, anything else, even baseball. Volleyball is cool. Volleyball is intense, volleyball is full of technique and tactics. Well, there is tactics involved in football, which again, why football, right? But it's not that much, and they stop all the time. So, like, how can you even develop and think about a tactic in the long run, in the long game, if you stop every 30 seconds? Really, I will never understand it. And these people are considered gladiators, and the people that support and follow football are, cool people. When I say I come from Europe, I don't watch American football. How is it possible? Well, American football exists only in America, whereas all the rest of the world follows mainly soccer and maybe other sports. For example, I don't know, rugby in Australia, New Zealand, or cricket in India, or lacrosse in area, like baseball in Japan, right? There's many sports that you can follow. What I'm saying, ultimately, is being willing to spend 3 hours of your time in front of television or in a stadium. Would you rather watch an intense game like a basketball game, or a game full of tactics like soccer, or a game full of technique like volleyball, or just a straight up boring game, a boring sport like American football? This thing I will never understand. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Put a dislike on the video if you're American. I think that you will do that. I don't care really. I just want to reach out to you guys, to reach out to you Americans, my friends, because I want to understand why you like it. Why you like it. Okay, my personal opinion is that there are better sports, but this is my personal opinion. What I don't understand, my phone is getting crazy. I don't know. What I really don't understand is why you like it. So let me know in the comment section here down below the video. If you don't agree with me, hit the dislike button, I don't care. If you agree with me, hit the like button. But anyways, let me know what you think. That's all for today. Bye for now.